Safemoon goes woke and then goes broke. And why did Safemoon's value drop so hard in comparison to the rest of the market? It's been quite a juicy week with a few team members leaving and a lot of insider drama. All this and more coming right up. So the first point of interest, how is Safemoon's hype train chugging along? Is it dying a slow and painful death, or is it hitting new highs? Well, if we have a look here at Google Trends, first 90 days, of course, is pretty much how long Safemoon has existed. Of course, it is a relatively new cryptocurrency. Not very original though, but we digress here. It hit a maximum interest around April 20, which is when it hit its maximum market capitalization to $4.5 billion, which is quite unbelievable to think about. But as we can see, it's slowly, well, not really all that slowly, it's died off quite a bit, only getting 6% of the interest that it got on April the 20th. Out of interest though, if we do have a look at just how popular it is in Gambia, clearly hasn't really taken off because there's no data there available. But that leads us on to how many wallets there are. So I've been tracking this manually. Unfortunately, BSC scan doesn't enable us to go back too far historically, just the last 15 or so days. So I've managed to plug that in manually. And I've also overlaid the Google Trends data here in the green, whereas the blue here is the amount of new Safemoon wallet holders. So as we can see, there's been a steady decline, and it is a little bit correlated with the Google Trends data. We've also got the trend line clearly trending down. I've definitely noticed that it has, well, the amount of wallets has gone down, but I wanted to actually measure just by how much. Now, of course, we're at 2.25 million wallet holders in 90 days. So that's an average of 25,000 new wallets every day. So as we can see here, around the 21st of May, it hit 12,000, which is half of that. But then here in the last week or so, we're only hitting a quarter of the average of what they're getting. So it's dropped down quite a lot in regards to just how many wallet holders there are. Clearly the hype has died down immensely. So you might have thought that I stopped at 2 videos, but don't you worry, there will be a steady stream of content. I've been busy this past week building my own website. I guess you could say I've been creating a ledger in regards to just how much of a fraud this is, dotting every I and crossing every T and making sure it's all documented, because the Safemoon team really do enjoy deleting content, tweets, Twitch streams, as we did mention last episode. But unfortunately, last month or so, they've really been pushing Kucoin and Gemini listings, which of course never will happen. Of course, the only listings that they've really managed to pull off are in far-off lands like India, China, and Singapore. Of course, I guess they've got lax legislation, but there'll never be a listing in America just due to the fact of the tax implications, because these reflections are a disaster when it comes to tax. We'll get into that in another episode. But also because it is a very clear Ponzi scheme. Thankfully, though, we've got one of these shit-for-brain YouTubers posting up the incriminating evidence with a Kucoin and Gemini listing to come. Unfortunately, this tweet around May the 14th seems to be deleted, as well as many others. But of course, we do have the incriminating evidence here on YouTube. But I must take this head on, some of these comments that I got that I'm just doing this for clout. Of course, it'd be much easier for me just to promote Safemoon, live in that little ecosystem, and just say some of these shit-for-brain YouTubers like Safemoon to $27 per coin. Now, I've got to say, if Safemoon ever hit $27 a coin, it'd be about 4 times or so more valuable than the world economy. These people are absolutely insane, just providing hopium, pure unadulterated hopium. Now on to some Safemoon drama. We did have an original team member leave the cast. Trevor Church, who was the community manager here, seems to have gone after a massive dump on the market. There were about 4 million, or 4 trillion, I should say. It's very easy to misspeak million, billion, trillion, however many tokens. 4 trillion tokens were sold off, and he left not long after. Now, it does claim that he never owned any tokens, but not quite sure. I do believe that. Of course, we can see he has been replaced by Charles Caroni, who is the executive assistant. But of course, Safemoon is incorporated in Utah, which is, of course, the home of the Ponzi scheme in America, home of the highest amount of Ponzi schemes, that is. Which also does lead me to believe that I think, well, there is some connection there with the Coronis to Jehovah's Witnesses, which is quite interesting because there was a tweet this week where Safemoon does go woke, of course, where you have a hive mind of imbeciles following you. The tweets were pretty ridiculous. People saying they're selling their coins by F this, I sell all my wallet. It is unbelievable. But of course, it's to be expected, I guess. But if we do go back onto the website, if we do check some of these tags that these guys have been using, I did notice there was a video in regards to #X, and they dived into who knows what, into the tags, I think it was. But if we have a look at the tags in Safemoon here, we can see that they have been using, they do claim that they are not affiliated with any of these other safe tokens, but we can see they like to use a bit of grey hat techniques. Safe Mars, Safe Galaxy, SHIB, Shiba, Kucoin, XRP, Bonfire, all these other shit coins that they supposedly have nothing to do with. They have no problems using them as keywords to drive traffic in. And now, of course, I sincerely wish there was a what the FUD section after last episode, but it was just a bunch of trolls and nobody really critically commenting. It was just people trolling me as well as physically threatening me, which really does remind me quite a bit of ISIS, these cults threatening people with physical violence to anyone that does want to speak out. But of course, I guess that does give Safemoon quite a bit too much credit, because at least ISIS created their own content. Can't really say the same for these guys. But with all that being said, still relatively new to making all these videos, please do make sure you smash that like button, and we'll be back relatively soon with some more content. Hopefully website coming soon before wallet.